Today, we are going to be writing equations for proportional relationships. You can find this on page 56 of your book 1 for math. Now, you will need the chart and the graph on this page to answer the questions on page 57. I drew the graph up here already just because we're going to need it, and I wrote this up here. It's okay if you can't see it because it's written right on the bottom of page 56. And it reads, the ratio of seltzer to juice is 6:3, which is equal to 2:1. This means for every 1 cup of juice, you need 2 cups of seltzer. It also has the amount of seltzer is equal to the constant of proportionality times the amount of juice. That's an equation that's going to be very important later. So make sure that you circle that in your book or you keep it in mind. If we're looking at page 57, number 2, it says the table on the previous page, what does the ratio 2:1 represent in terms of the problem? Well, if you flip over to page 56, it tells you exactly what it means. It says for every 1 cup of juice, you need 2 cups of seltzer. That's what you're going to write on that line, exactly like it's written on page 56. Looking at number 3, what does the point 2, 4 represent on the graph? So on the graph, I already wrote the data points up here just because I don't have it mapped out on grid paper like it is in your book. So if we're looking at the point 2, 4, you have 2, 4. Now when you're looking at coordinates, we have our x, then our y. So that means this is our x, this is our y, because the point they gave us is 2, 4. So 2 is on my x-axis, and I'm going to go all the way up to 4 on my y-axis. This data point means exactly what the graph says. So 2, so for every 2, what do I have here? Cups of juice. I have 4 cups of what? 4 cups of seltzer. So on that line, data point 2, 4 shows for every 2 cups of juice, you have 4 cups of seltzer. Looking at number 4. Which point on the graph can be used to find the constant of proportionality? So the constant of proportionality is trying to figure out the point they gave us, which is on page 56, trying to figure it out and put it in and reduce it. So when we're looking at our graph, we really want to figure out for every 1 of what, how many of the other object do I have? So if you look at your chart, you have 1 cup of juice. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, for every 1 cup of juice, well, how many cups of seltzer do I have? If you look at your chart, it tells you 2. This right here is the exact same thing as 2 divided by 1, which gives me 2. So if we're for this number, the point that's going to help you out is 0.1, 2, because I'm looking for an individual cup. And when it asks for the proportionality, the constant of proportionality, it wants you to divide this and figure out what it is. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. So your constant of proportionality is 2. That's very, very important. Make sure you write it down. So on the line, you're going to write 1, 2, and then my constant of proportionality, I'm going to abbreviate that. I'm not going to write it all out, is 2. Now, for number 5, it is asking us to use the constant of proportionality to write an equation to represent S, the number of cups of seltzer you need for J cups of juice. That's really important. So I'm going to erase this here. I know that S is going to be seltzer and J is going to be juice. This is when I said that equation from page 56 is going to be very important because it broke it down for you to help you write this equation later. So it says the amount of seltzer. Well, what am I using for seltzer? I'm using S. So I need to have S here. Is equal to my constant of proportionality. That is going to come from number 4. We just found that. So we found that our constant of proportionality was 2. So I'm going to fill that in times the amount of juice. Well, what am I using for juice? J. So you're going to write J here. Now, when you're writing this equation, it's very, very important to make sure you are simplifying. So when I have a number and a variable and they're being multiplied by one another, I can put them right next to one another. So your problem is going to look like this. S equals 2J, which is the exact same thing as S equals 2 times J. Now, let's look at number 6. Use the equation you wrote in problem 5 to find the amount of seltzer you need if you have 15 cups of juice. Okay, well, all I'm going to do is replace the variable with the information that they gave me. So I'm trying to figure out how much seltzer I would have, so I know that my S is still going to be S is equal, if I have 15 cups of juice, well, I have S equals 2, and then juice. I'm going to plug that number in for juice, which would be 15. Now, I'm going to solve the problem. 15 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2. We're going to add the 1. That gives you 3. So my answer is 30 cups. So that's your answer for number 6. Number 7. For a different punch receipt, the equation is S equals 4C, represents the number of cups of seltzer, S, that you need for cups of cranberry juice. What is the constant? Remember the equation from page 56. The equation is already written out for you. Your new equation that they gave you is S equals 4C. It says when S represents seltzer and C represents the cups of cranberry juice. Look back at your equation from page 56. The amount of seltzer is equal to the constant of proportionality times the amount of juice, or in this case, cranberry juice, which is this. So if the question is asking me, what is my constant is going to be 4. So on that line, you're going to write 4. Then it says to explain. So you want to explain exactly what that means. It means for every 4 cups of cranberry juice, you have the number of cups for seltzer. And then that will be your answer.